We are talking about feminism and patriarchy. Here we have Victoria, the young philosopher, and Peter, my son. So, what is actually the problem? What seems to be a problem, Victoria? Feminism and patriarchy.
Well, I guess firstly, we need to clarify the definitions.
Okay.
So what feminism are we talking about and what patriarchy are we talking about? Because like there are a couple of feminism waves that the world has seen. So if we're talking about the first and the second wave of feminism, that's one thing. If we're talking about feminism that is going on in our real world right now, like nowadays, that's another thing to talk about. And the same comes to patriarchy. Like, what actually do we mean by it? Do we mean that, for example, a husband takes full control of his wife and women are not allowed to vote, women are not allowed to work? Or are we talking about this new way of seeing patriarchy in today's world when, for example, women are offended when a man is trying to pay for her in a restaurant, and so on and so on?
I would rather talk about functionality. We obviously believe that in different business, political, social interactions, we treat differently representatives of various genders. It can be we treat them better than they deserve, or vice versa. And it creates a certain bias. And any bias is a danger to any sophisticated system. It's the same way when you're driving the car. You shouldn't be distracted. You shouldn't have any obstacles for yourself to be fully immersed in the driving process. The same is in other interactions. We are obviously getting distracted by different approach to different gender, different age, different race. Those factors that should not influence neither our decisions nor any outcomes of our interactions. And I found that I would propose 3 principles how we can avoid this bias. Since we are interacting online more and more, I have paid attention that I'm working with people for prolonged periods of times, and I do not know what is their gender, or I do not know what their race is. And obviously, I have no any awareness of their age, especially when it's gender-neutral names or foreign names that are not attributed to any gender. I communicate year after year with a person with a particular name, and I do not know whether it's a woman or a man. I was surprised that the person that I worked with in a particular city actually was a visible minority, and I didn't know that until he posted his picture on WhatsApp profile. And what I really do believe, that should be the trend. That it should not interfere neither with our decisions nor with any preferences or discrimination. And English is a perfect language because it's gender neutral. It is impossible to understand which gender is initiating the communication, because when someone is expressing him or herself in writing, you cannot deduce whether this is a man or a woman, right? For example, in Russian, it becomes obvious in certain inflections of the language that the speaker is either masculine or feminine. But in English it is neutral. So those three principles that I suggest are anonymity, gender neutrality, and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, we do not know which gender it belongs to. We don't know. Anonymity, when I say anonymity, we need have a standard that in serious interactions, not only not advisable to disclose the name, but it's better not to, or even should be, as a rule, the ability of a person to communicate and interact without disclosing the name that would indicate the gender. I already see this a lot. Not a lot, but some of the companies communicate with me without disclosing their names. Like there's the name of the company, but I don't know which person is writing to me. And we're doing the jobs, I'm getting paid, and I don't care. They don't want to, so be it. All right? So anonymity, gender neutrality, it should be neutral. And I think that we need to judge the interaction according to the essence of the interaction rather than who is the sender. So we need to make an equality between the actions by any gender and anybody else, like artificial intelligence. Very soon, the main actors that will be communicating to us would be either humans or artificial intelligence, or that would be the mix of thereof. Like if I'm going and asking AI to write a message for me, it is already not entirely human communication. It's like a mixture, right? And one day they will be initiating those messages, and we will be having a hard time. Like today, like the bot. We don't know if it's a web bot, is it human or not, and so on and so on. So if we have those three factors, we don't know who this person is, we don't know whether this person belongs to this or that gender, and third, we don't know whether it's artificial intelligence or a person, we judge the interaction according to the essence of the interaction rather than prejudice about the sender. That will avoid most of the problems that we used to have, that we will have as human beings. Because, I'm almost completed. We are sexual beings. And sexual instinct to leave an offspring is the most potent and most assertive and most important in the existence of biological creatures. And the fact that we have subducted this doesn't mean that it doesn't work internally. And many times we make our choices subconsciously because of our preferences, which have the roots in our sexuality, rather than doing this with a sober mind. Yes, Peter, what do you think about it?
I don't know. Is this like just entire? I don't really understand what this has to do with feminism, or
well, it has to.
This comes from mostly like a business standpoint, right? What about a social?
It's not only business.
What about like in social aspects, like school or going to work or any social aspect? You can't just remove men and women.
We can.
What is that?
We can. More and more when we use, yes, it sounds bad, but it doesn't sound bad. We did this before. We removed the race. We made an effort to remove the race out of the question. And we have the advantage of using the online communication and being able to create the believable avatars of ourselves, which will allow us, for the sake of social communication, to be whoever we want to be. In the morning, you can be a woman. In the afternoon, you can be a dog. In the evening, you can be whoever. But for serious relationship, we should be anonymous, gender neutral, and equal to AI, indistinguishable from any other actor. This will solve a lot of problems. Believe me, even now, the underlying sexuality is ruling the world. The aggressiveness, the desire to suppress, the competition, and all those things, they are very much rooted in the relationship, subconsciously or even consciously, based on sexual preferences. And avoiding this, I believe, is the most important part in future communications. Less and less we're communicating in person, less and less. Also, all this gender rubbish with homosexuality, pronouns, he, she, it's going crazy already. And by proclaiming these three principles of anonymity, of gender neutrality, and equality to artificial intelligence,
Dad, I don't think you understand what happens when you give humans anonymity on the internet.
No, it's not anonymity in that way. Like, responsibility still stays there. Like, it can be IP address, it can be other identification things. For a long time, the first name and last name are no longer really guarantee anything. People can change them, sign their messages with any name they like, especially in our Western culture. Nobody is using actually their real name. Someone is using the middle name. Someone is using something like remotely resembling the real name. But don't take us astray. It's not about anonymity in order to dupe someone. I mean that there is a problem, and you will see this problem when you go to the big world, that people make their decisions based on their sexual preferences.
No, I completely agree on that part. It's just I don't see how just taking away everything.
I gave you an example that in my serious interactions, like business interactions and literary work and other things, it is already happening in some cases. There's no way to know whom I'm communicating to in terms of gender, age, and other things. And this is a good trend. This is a good trend. Also, it frees us from all this bullshit with feminism. It should not matter who has initiated the communication or action, either female or male or a dog or artificial intelligence or an alien from outer space. We need to judge it according to how it acts, what it offers, and how we interact, not use the prejudice approaches. What do you think, Victoria?
So, okay, if we're talking about some serious relations, for example, business relations and work relations, okay, it actually may work, and I see some point in it, but it can just like, you know, I'm really up to humanity. I'm really up to all the things that a human being can do. I'm really up to all his emotions and all his intentions, whether they're sexual or not. And even when I work, like, it's okay for me to use it. Like, for example, I mean, I know that I have some students, I have some male students, and I know why I do have these male students, because I'm a woman teacher, like, but I don't really mind it, because, you know, these types of relations, they actually bring more humanity, more how to express myself, like, me knowing you, Boris, as the biggest pro-humanity person, like, you love humans, you love people, you love their emotions, but this concept, it actually just deletes everything, like everything that can be between the human beings in personal, because like gender is one, like, I mean, the real gender, okay, which are two of them, like, is one of the most important parts of our character, of our behaving, and deleting this with this approach, you just delete the whole opportunity to
there is
openly
a difference.
interact.
You are a young, beautiful woman. I'm an old fart. And that's why we are treated very differently when we go outside. Whatever will work well with you, if a policeman stops you, pulls you over, or you need to ask for a favor from someone or something, it is very different than if I do the same. So we add a layer of inequality based on the things that we cannot change. I cannot become a young, attractive woman. You cannot become an old male fart. And there is a very much injustice when someone is getting treated by their looks. Also, there are some ladies that look better, some worse, and the fact that the decision making, how to lead the interaction, is very often based on those factors. And I do believe that if we are talking about the efficiency and other things, like I can give you an example how it can hurt the humanity. Imagine someone is the president of very important country, decides who will be the Secretary of State. And let's say he has two candidates. One candidate is a very pushy male whom he really dislikes. And another candidate is a very smart, very nice, and very attractive lady, whom he will choose. And he probably will choose the lady. And probably it will be not good for the country.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, if we take serious interactions, for example, choosing a president, choosing a secretary.
But I would claim that any interaction is serious. There are no not serious interactions in our life. Any smallest interaction can cause enormous consequences. Like even drinking the glass of Coke can lead to choking and dying or something like that, right? So in any interaction, I'm not saying that we need to completely avoid to be who we are, but in most of the interactions, we need to stop doing this. I lived my life, and in any job interview, I see ladies that they're trying to look better than they are, or making choices based on those things. I know that I make this choice. For sure, go to my contact page. It's mostly beautiful ladies working with me. So this is no good. This is no good. At least we need to give a right and the ability for people to involve these factors less in their interactions. Of course, if we're talking about the personal life, you can do whatever you want. You want to pay for your company, for the lady, pay. You don't want to pay, tell her you don't want to pay. It's up to them. they can do role playing as long as they like. It's not about it. Feminism is not about relationship within a family or interpersonal relationship. Feminism, it's first and foremost is about jobs, politics, and things like that.
Okay, I actually know how to break your system. So you claim that we should judge people by their possibilities, like their skills, and we should not base our decisions depending on gender. Okay, what about sport competitions? Should we? So like now we have female sports and men's sports, but if we are deleting the gender, should we just make sports? But that leads us to a thought that, okay, if it comes to sport, men and women are actually not really equal to each other because like we have different traits, we have different body abilities. So how do we do that?
I don't care. It has nothing to do with sport.
Okay, but like it's an important topic.
Well, that's not fair because
I do not think that sport competition has anything to do with prosperity and development of human. Someone would like to have fitness, but there's no competition in fitness. But if you're talking about the sport competition, I don't think that it's an essential part of human existence. It might be a thing that we have inherited since the Roman Empire days, when they had these gladiators fighting and the crowd was watching who is going to win and who is going to die. Or Olympic Games in ancient Greece or something like that. I don't think that this has any real impact. Sports has become the way of entertainment, and it doesn't really matter what happens there. It would not influence the lives of people.
I cannot agree with you because, like, you know, sport is one of the biggest industries that we have right now. Like,
you
for example,
just make that go away.
Yeah, like for example, if we look at like the biggest industries with the big income, sports going to be in one of the first places. So you can just
would be drugs.
One of the first places.
I think drugs is bigger than sport.
I mean, like, okay, so your idea is to, like, okay, for example, there are a lot of, like, tons of people whose life is depending on their strength, on their body abilities. Like, they really put all their lives into it because, like, they do sports, they compete with each other, and that's basically their jobs. And this is like a big amount of people who does that. So, but you want to people be only...
No, I don't. We said personal life and sports can keep their identities. Yeah, for sure. And genders.
So what do you mean? How is this going to happen? How are you just going to get rid of gender?
Very simple. Very soon we will be able to do the avatars that would look...
That's awful. No. That is no.
Like the same way three of us are using the background pictures. The background pictures are used to create the atmosphere that we would like to convey, right? I have those books. Victoria has this painting. And the same way as we choose those background pictures, we can choose our avatars. We can look anyhow we want. Tomorrow, I will be able to appear as Victoria, and the pitch of my voice would be indistinguishable from hers.
No, you'd still understand between it, but I see your point. You could change it, but I don't know. I don't want every interaction that is not personal be online. Is that something?
I don't know. I asked Mom when Kate was a little bit older than you. She said that she wants us to find her a prince, and we have created an account with her picture, 18-year-old girl, and we're looking for a prince for her. And she actually got married with this guy, and they spent 2 or 3 years together. So
Steve?
It actually works. Not Steve. It's Kuzia. Kuzia was.
Ah, Kuzia. Okay.
Yeah. And it was actually, it doesn't matter what people say, it was a success. I truly believe they did like and love each other, and it was a very lovely couple. If not for his parents, who are Muscovites and have very specific vision of how to educate their children, this family would prevail until now, maybe. So I don't know. I was using this thing since times immemorial. You were still only in plans. Mom was pregnant with you when we did this. So it was 16 years ago. It is working. It is working, and it will be working even more. Why it was working? She didn't have the strength and the ability to do whatever she needed to do. And we offered her help, and we did this. And I do not regret. So
I don't know, this approach of totally being able to change your appearance, to change your gender, it seems like really unnatural to me. Like, it seems like we are creating just a whole new world. Like, okay, we have video games, for example. Video games is the thing where we can actually do this. Like, boys are pretending to be girls, girls are pretending to be boys. That's the usual thing. And there is nothing good about it, actually, because you can just be yourself. Okay, in being a woman and being young or old, there are some advantages or disadvantages. You have some advantages that I don't have, as long as I have some advantages that you don't have. For example, I can just say, hi, can you play, and they do it for me. You, for example, like as an old person, people see you as a respectable old man who knows something about life. They respect your opinion. But sometimes when they see me, they just see a little cute girl that has nothing in her brain. So there are some advantages and disadvantages, and we should, like, learn how to work with them, learn how to use them, and just be people, be ourselves.
Imagine what happens when a young girl has the experience and craftiness of 50 years old man. That's what happened with what I described. I was 40 back then, and I felt very comfortable with making him to fall in love with my daughter while pretending being my daughter. And when they met and so on, and I have told him what happened, he was laughing and saying, "Thank you. You did it so good."
Well, like, you were just lying to another person. I don't know. Like, it seems like I don't even know how to describe it. It feels so wrong to me.
Yeah.
You are too old for us. You're too young for us with your innovation ideas.
What about like grooming? Like, can the 43-year-old man just turn into a 12-year-old boy and then go grooming? That's also a question if you bring it up.
Everything can be, and it happens. I think that human has to have the freedom to be whoever he wants to be. That should be basic.
Sorry.
Otherwise, we become the slaves of our age, our gender, and we have an inability to explore life in its fullness. So
you can just become okay, you're putting this mask on. You are a 15-year-old young girl with a
Wait a second. You are trying to bring the illicit examples, how it can be used for the wrong purposes. Anything can be used for the wrong purposes.
Yeah, it can be, and that's the problem.
But the negatives...
If there is a mechanism to do something, it should be well thought and regulated, but not left outside of the question only because you think it's too innovative. I don't think it's too innovative. By the way, the problem of the accent, how we are getting treated when we do have accent, and I have accents in English, for example. And in my industry, it's okay to have accent because we do sweeping of the streets and parking lots and asphalt, so it's normal. But when I was working in other areas which require more, it was a problem to have an accent. And now we have this ability to sound in any language like a native speaker. I saw those programs running that you are speaking and you are translated without accent, and it actually sounds like your own voice. So any bias that creates an inequality should be avoided because it's injustice. And if there are means to avoid this inequality, then they should be used. And when you are asking how it can be used for illicit purposes, it's not relevant to the discussion because anything can be used for illicit purposes. What I'm saying is, yes, Peter.
We're saying that the negatives kind of outweigh the positives of this.
I can give you an example. For example, you are too young, for example, Peter. Nobody wants to take you serious. But you, for example, I do believe, is a mature individual. You can do great things right away. I have talked to you, I know you, you are deep, you are very well prepared to be an active player in any field. But because of the age, you're discriminated. If you appear...
That's fair. I don't want people to think
okay, you don't want 16. It. But if... Oh, okay, you're discriminating yourself. Okay?
But like, it's not about like, okay, people's thoughts are based on the average. Like, if we take an average 16-year-old person, he won't seem to be really deep and really mature. And this is why...
For you, at any age, most of the people are idiots, and you know it well. And if someone is in a young age is able to do things, he has to be able to do things, not based on his age. Especially if we can be enhanced by the help of artificial intelligence and other things, we need to be treated by our abilities and our intentions and our actions, not by the prejudice, discrimination based on age, race, accent, gender, or anything else. That's what I'm saying. Look, resumes. If you put on your resume the foreign name here in Canada, nobody inviting you to the interview, job interview. There were investigations by the journalists. They put the same resume, applied for same jobs, and put different names. And those who had anglicized names were called for the interview, and those who didn't were not called for it. And those examples, they're everywhere. We are doing profiling all the time. All the time we're doing profiling. And everybody is sick and tired when they are in the disadvantaged group for some reason. You're sick and tired to be the victim of the profiling. As teenagers as well, being a teenager is not very sweet. No matter how you treat it, it's not.
Well, okay, yeah, I see a point in it. Like,
Victoria, for example, you're smart, you're very smart, you're very capable, you're very, 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 very. But even the pitch of your voice, you're trying to make your voice older. Listen to yourself.
yeah, it's my natural voice. I'm not trying to do this. It's my natural voice. It just happens to me.
Different voice when you're just speaking, or when you're teaching, or when you're like you are making your pitch of your voice to sound older. Our psychologist that treating all of us, she was trying to look older, and she was lying about her age, saying that she is older than she is. Like, everyone has problems with this profiling, which is very stupid. And it's no joke. This profiling causes a lot of damage to the society, to our development, to our personal lives, and so on and so on.
I honestly, I do agree that accents and profiling, like where you come from, does really matter. in our society currently, where everybody will profile you. Like, just, you can take even my mom, for example. Like, nobody would take her on a job, probably just because of her accent.
Yeah, but Peter, you were the witness that Maskin, your mom, and I went to two places in northern Ontario, right? It was Honda, and it was TV, Bell TV. In both cases, the clients were native Canadians, not like they were 100% white Canadians, right? And mom said, who will give us the projects? We're two old farts with Russian accent. We got both, one for $15,000, another one for $7,000. So there is no rule here, okay? You were with us, remember TV?
Yeah.
We were three of us. You, mom, and I, remember?
Yeah.
We got this job. We already got paid for both. So...
Okay, so if we're bringing up like everything that can change a person's...
But excuse me, you know why we got this job? Because this job is considered to be the job for the immigrants. We had to repair the cracks in the asphalt and to fill the potholes. So we fit to their profiling, and that's why we got the job.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually agree with you at the point that we do have a problem. We do have a problem with this profiling people with their age, with their gender, but I don't think that the solvent of this problem is to give people ability to entirely change themselves. I think that the solution lays in our heads. Like, we should be taught how to properly interact with each other. And that's going to be much more easier, and that's not going to have that many disadvantages.
It will take way more time until it can happen, and it will not happen because it's biologically, we are wired biologically to react that way.
And why should we fight our biology?
Any man, when he sees a young woman which is capable to become pregnant, gets a boost of hormones which influence his ability to think, to make judgment, and so on and so on. So,
like, what's the purpose of being human then, if we are deleting everything that makes us human?
Doesn't make us human. This part make us beasts. This comes with our beast animal nature.
We don't have any animal or advanced nature. We just have the nature.
No, we don't have an advanced nature. That's true. At least if we cannot to be completely hidden from the screen, we need to have a choice how we appear. You have the choice how you appear as a lady. You can put your makeup, or you cannot put your makeup. You can change your look, right?
You too.
Men are too. They are capable. They can put on a suit and a tie, or they can show up completely casual. Like, in this way, you don't have objections that people have right to present themselves the way they want to present themselves, right? But there are some features that we cannot change that easily, but we can see that there are programs that can make you older, and they make you younger a little bit, or a lot, all right? And even without changing your gender and basic look, you can look like a 40 years old woman if you need to, right? So I mean with the program, all right? So we're already using these features. We're already using this thing.
Okay, but that's, again, only for the online. What about in real life things?
That's real life is becoming extinct.
I don't like that. I don't think any human likes that.
We still have the real life, but we do prefer to have those interactions online. they're more comfortable, they are safe, they're more efficient. Look, Peter, you are 150 kilometers away from me, and Victoria is on other side of the earth right now. She's in Moscow. But we are having
I
a
can guarantee you
conversation.
that this conversation would be much more in field if we were in person right now.
Proof.
I can first you can just prove by just sitting and talking with a person. It's a completely different experience. What do you mean? It's literally just a completely different experience.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
yeah.
It's way more interesting to have the person right there. You can talk to them. It doesn't
It
feel.
depends on the purpose of the conversation. The purpose of this conversation is to record an interesting, engaging discussion. And for this purpose, the communication that we have is more efficient and better. We are seeing three of us on the same screen. The viewer will be able to listen to our opinions. It's way easier than to create this thing within other.
But wouldn't you agree that it's better to have the conversation in real life? If there was.
Depends for which purpose. If you want to build a romantic relationship, yes, it's better to be in the same room. If you are not ready, and even if you want to build a romantic relationship, but you didn't shower before that, or there are some other reasons why you don't want to expose yourself for intimate interaction, not very intimate, but at least in the same room, it can be preferable. We probably, all three of us have havoc in our rooms right now. I don't know how Victoria is, but Peter and I, for sure. And
no, my room is very clean.
I don't wear any pants.
I had that idea already.
I never wear any pants. I'm sorry.
No, like, okay, if you not talking about pants, okay?
I sorry, Victoria, can I just add one thought?
Yeah,
I do agree that these meetings would be way better if it was just for a business thing. If I was presenting a product to you or something like that, that would be very nice. But this, like, even our conversation would be way better in person if we just met up and then we would talk. It would be way better.
Yeah, but again, Victoria is in Moscow. Moscow is the capital of Russian Federation.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this conversation would be more engaging if we were all here. Do you not agree with that?
I do not agree with that because we don't know Victoria socially. She probably is not fond of spending days and days sitting with us and talking. She has allocated just 1 hour for us, and she can get back to her things after that. And like,
you're talking about the convenience, like how comfortable it is, but you're not talking about the
genuine human interaction.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Genuine human interaction should be done when you want to be close to your relatives, close to your friends, and close to those that you would like to be intimate with. All other interactions are not recommended to be done in person.
Okay. Okay, let me say one thing. Okay, so if you say that we do have the ability to change our age, if we do have the ability to change our name, to make us older or younger or man or female already, do we actually need any other solution? Do we actually need more, to make it, I forgot the words. Like to make it for all people, to make it for all works. If a person really struggles with some problem, he already has a solution to it. Why should we do anything else?
Why should we do it? How you can solve the problem if for a certain interaction you want to be younger, or for the same interaction you want to be another gender, or just not to disclose any gender?
Like we already
we will learn to treat our partner for the interaction as a black box. We will know that we don't know nothing about it. And the way how the person appears will be for us a statement that this person is making. Like the way how the person appears will be a part of his statement or her statement. The same way, like you for example, ladies are doing this a lot, because if men appear in different looks, maybe they have two looks, one businesslike and another one completely out of acceptable. Ladies change their look all the time, and they change their height with the help of heels. It can change up to 10, 12 centimeters in height. They can put makeup.
like
They can change
Most men don't like that.
What?
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who likes it or not. But anyways, we can still identify if like we see the heels, we see the makeup, we see different dresses, and it doesn't really change anything.
It does. It does.
No, I disagree. Yeah, it definitely does.
Okay, I know.
Victoria, we don't see these things. We see what we see. We see the
Like subconsciously, you mean?
Yeah, not even subconsciously. We don't think why this lady looks higher or her legs looks longer. We just
I think about it.
Yeah, and then we get surprised that in other circumstances it's an midget that.
I mean, your appearance is just a tool that you can use. Like, it's great if you can use it properly so you achieve your goals.
Yeah.
It's like okay, I have this ability. I can affect some man talking to me. Like, I have this ability, and I've been using it for like a couple of years now, actively, and I like it.
You like it? Okay, use it. I can tell you that with the smarts you have and looks you have, nothing is impossible for you. The girl 2 years younger than you somehow wrote a letter to the father of our current prime minister. She wrote a letter to Pierre Trudeau, and he married her, and she became first lady in Canada. She was 18. So things happen.
Things happen. Okay, I actually gotta go now. I have another lesson.
Okay.
We can finish.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.